Hey guys, Sandra Swink here from the Swink Agency. Thank y'all for tuning in to another video. If you don't know, you about to find out. I am a lover of all things business. So whether we're talking about planning, starting, or growing your business, a lot of times I can run on and on and on, but I'm gonna try to keep this video 10 minutes and under. A lot of times I'm on 2-hour or 4-hour calls, so it's hard for me to narrow down what I need to say in a few minutes, but we're gonna give it a try, guys. Just roll with it, because my goal here is to answer a lot of the questions, a lot of the common questions that we get around planning, starting, and growing small businesses. So somebody asked me the other day during a live call, I think that one was like 4 hours, but somewhere on the 2-hour mark, the client asked, what should have been my number one thing when it comes to starting this business? Of course, that one was a tough one to answer because our client had already registered the business, has already been operating in their industry. They just didn't have a full brand put together. And so we're kind of starting from scratch with building the brand, creating the actual online presence, and so to speak. So of course, my answer was you needed a business plan. Not sure if they did or did not create one before they actually started the business because it had been a few years since they originally launched. But I told them, stop where you are now and write a business plan, because what's going to happen is it's going to stop you from chasing your tail. It's going to stop you from running in circles. And a lot of times, whether your business has failed or whether you feel like your business is failing, a lot of times, you can turn that around or create a great solution with just taking the time to write a business plan. What happens when you don't write that business plan before you start? You're going to chase your tail. You're not going to have any great milestones to shoot for. You're not going to have anything to target. You're not going to know how much money is out there to make. You're not going to know what to price your products and services for. You're not going to really know what you have to offer to the market, as the CEO or as the entrepreneur or as the owner operator. Whatever title you give yourself, you're going to be chasing your tail because you didn't take the time to map out everything. Now, what's crucial with that business plan is not just creating milestones and saying, hey, I need to get this completed by this date, but you also need to figure out how big the market is. And doing the market research for that business plan, that's what's going to help you get on the straight and narrow. Because when you do that market research, it's going to help you identify how big the market is that you're trying to compete in, how big of a pie it is for you to even get, obviously. And then it's going to basically put your ideas and your scope of business on a straightened path, basically. Because if you know how big the market is, you're going to know how many players it is out there for you to go up against. If you figure out how big of that pie you want for yourself, it might be a $1 billion industry, but you may be only focusing on the women, or you may be only focusing on women with children, or men with children, whatever the case may be. Don't want to be biased there, but you may only be focusing on a small niche. So with that market research, you can figure out, hey, even though it's a $20 million in the industry, I may only be shooting for 10 million of that, or whatever the case may be. So it helps you to get that market research down heavy, meaning you know how big the market is and you know how much is out there for you. And then you can create those success strategies on figuring out how you need to move to be successful. Another key thing to that business plan is your SWOT analysis, because during that research process, you're going to get a chance to figure out what your strengths and weaknesses are, as well as opportunities and threats, because that's what SWOT stands for. SWOT, SWOT analysis, your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. But you'll also get the opportunity to figure out what your competitor's strengths and weaknesses are. And that's how you're going to easily create that competitive advantage. When you write your business plan, you're going to also need to figure out what skill sets you have to offer, whether you're the CEO, whether you're the owner operator, whatever title you're going to take for that business, you need to figure out what you have to offer, because that's going to play a heavy role in what team members you need to hire. If you're not one of those type of people that can do everything on your own, you need to figure out what you're great at and who you need to hire, whether it's a personal assistant, business manager, whatever the case may be. You need to figure out what you can offer and then figure out who else needs to come to the table, and then you go from there. It also gives you the opportunity to figure out your finances. A lot of people will start business thinking, hey, I know I need XYZ amount of money to get started, and they don't project what they're going to have to spend month for month or year to year. They also don't project how much money they want to or need to make every month and every year to even be successful. So those finances, getting those in order, that's a great critical point that you're going to get the opportunity to go through when you're writing that business plan. So in a nutshell, I kind of gave him the response said, hey, you should have wrote a business plan. And because, his business had already been operating for a few years before he came to us, I couldn't just push it on him. Hey, this is absolutely what you need to do today. But yeah, sometimes within the next 30 days, we need to sit down and we need to talk about this business plan. The reason why I told him about 30 days was because we had already put together the logo. We've already done the discovery call, meaning we knew exactly what direction, what he wanted to take his business. We knew all the goals. Basically, we had all the information we need as his marketing agency to write the business plan. We just needed him to prepare for that. We needed him to get in that mindset of, let's pause where we are now with figuring out how you need to look on social media and what your professional brand needs to look, how you need to dress, and take that time to figure out somewhere in there, I need to write this business plan. So far, we have been successful in creating, and delivering all the deliverables for the project. But once we release him to the world with all of his products and services, that business plan is his next step. So he will know as a business owner how he needs to move. So of course, that's number one. I'm going to recommend to everybody who does a consultation or just in general conversation with any business owner or owner operator or CEO or whatever title you have, you need a business plan. If you don't have one, you can still operate, you can still be successful, but it may be a little challenging. So point number one, you need a business plan. Point number two, it's somewhere wrapped up in there. What I just said was when it comes to building your team, you need to focus heavily on who you need to be successful, what team members you need to start with, who you're going to need to be able to operate successfully day to day, and take a step back and look at the big picture and kind of plan your team out that way. I always tell clients, active clients as well as consultations, when it comes to building that team, try to find a company where you can create a package or where they offer bulk services, because what you want to avoid is, hiring 10 or 12 different companies that are doing 10 or 12 different things for your brand. And then you end up with different quality of work. You end up with different deadlines. You end up with different issues basically all across the board. So while you're doing the business planning process and while you're starting your business, consider that. Consider just ending how you finish. Basically, start with one company and try to finish with that one company so you don't have any issues with your qualities and things like that. Third point is you need to know your finances heavily. And whether it's just your startup month to month and year to year projections, that gets you closer to what you need instead of just blindly saying, hey, I know it's going to cost me about $10,000 for my inventory. It's going to cost me about $20,000 for personnel or whatever the case may be. You need to do the research. You need accurate quotes from these companies that you're planning to hire. You need accurate quotes from these vendors you're planning on working with, because that is going to be the only way for you to narrow down what your true financial projections are. Without doing that step, it's possible to be successful. Of course, you're going to make the money, you're going to spend it as well, but you're not going to have a long-term plan. You're not going to have a long-term growth plan without sitting down and doing a heavy financial analysis on your financials. So those are the three. Those are the three I want to mention in this video. I can talk for hours on all of the different topics of your business, but for this video, I'm just going to let you guys know those top 3 do's and don'ts. And the first one is don't start a business without a business plan. If you have already, or if you need to, it's okay. It's no right or wrong way. It's just you need one to utilize as your roadmap. That's pretty much the only thing other than a marketing plan. A comprehensive business plan is going to give you the opportunity to sit down and map out everything that you need to be successful for your business. Second point is build a great team. You can't do it all on your own. And if you can, kudos to you. I'm gonna give you your clap because you bad. You bad. But everyone needs a team, whether it's bringing in a personal assistant, a business manager, attorney, CPA, whatever. You need a professional team when it comes to being successful in business. So try to find one company that does a lot, that can offer you a package deal for the majority of the services that you need. Or if you have to purchase a la carte, try to stick with the same cluster of companies so you don't end up with too many issues. And then thirdly, you want to narrow down your financials. You want to do a heavy financial analysis on what it's going to take to start your business, what it's going to take month to month, and then what it's going to take annually. From those 3, I feel like you can have a really, really good foundation to planning and starting and launching your business. So the next thing would be to consider your legal requirements that are needed to even register your business. So I'll do a video on that next. But in the meantime, in between time, y'all go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and drop a comment if you have any questions or have any feedback on the video. See you online.